Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Where in this video we're talking about 4 basic checkmating patterns every chess player must know. So without further ado, let's get started. So of the 4 basic checkmates you must know, 2 of them are very common and you can see it across every level of gameplay, from amateurs to intermediates to even grandmasters. You see these checkmating patterns. The first one is the king and queen versus a king. So here the queen delivers checkmate supported by the king. Here in a series of moves, this is a random position setup. The king and the queen trying to box the king into one corner, and finally the queen delivers checkmate. So this is a very common form of checkmate that if you're new to chess or if you must win your chess games, you must know. All right, the next common basic checkmate pattern is a king and rook versus a king. This one is also very common among amateurs and even mostly among grandmasters. So basically, you try to restrict the king's squares with your rook and your king, then you deliver checkmate by the side. So I set up another position here, so trying to move the king to the side, to the edge of the board, where the rook will deliver the checkmate. So king to g7, rook to f2, king to ah, king to g6, then wasting a move, and then rook delivers check. Another checkmating pattern which you won't see often is the bishop checkmate. That is 2 bishops and a king versus a king. Because this one, although it's easy, but it also requires some technicalities, and you also need to know what you're doing. So it's basically you constrain the king, the opponent's king, and you deliver checkmate. So what you're doing is trying to force the king to the edge of the board, like I'm doing here, forcing it to the edge of the board, and then until the king has just a few squares to go, then you deliver your mate. So the king and king and 2 bishops, not just same colored bishops, opposite colored bishops. Checkmate is another checkmating pattern, a common checkmating pattern that you must know. All right, and the last checkmating pattern is a king and a bishop versus a king. This one, with perfect play, it usually ends in a draw, but except your engine. But most of the time, you need to also, it's the same idea with the rook and also the double 2 bishops mates, where you try to force the king into a square and you checkmate it. Usually with perfect play, most times it requires some positions requires like 34 moves to deliver checkmate. So here the bishop is constraining the king's movement, the bishop and the knight. So the king and the bishop, so moving the forcing the king to the edge of the board and then delivering checkmate with the bishop. All right, so that's it for this video. If you've actually stayed to this point, please do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you on subsequent videos. Check.